If we're talking about the spiritual, then it has to be from the inside, so-called inside. So-called from the inside means from the subtle. That means from beyond appearances. So I need to observe how the mind uses the individual. I'm not interested in their appearance. Their appearances of no consequence. No interest. See? But what's coming through, that's more of interest. If we are talking about music, we probably are. Your question referred to musicians. So I'm interested in what's using them. That means what it would appear to be the obstruction to what I would need from them from the inside out. What's on their mind is their problem. It's not the solution. What's in their mind is also the problem, not the solution. What is of mind could also be the problem and not the solution, depending upon their level of what is real. Who wants anything less than what is real? Do you?
Part of the learning process for me over these years has been learning relative to silence, relative to enlightenment, what isn't real, what isn't to be believed and, say, entertained.
What of enlightenment is real? Continue.
I guess it's more of a direction than a thing.
Enlightenment, if there is such a thing, has no direction. It means zero. So it means nothing. No thing. No one, nothing. No mind, no body. It has its paradoxical function. See? Maybe it's pointing to deeper mind or true mind or real mind. Inaccessible mind. Inconceivable mind. Impossible mind. Incredible mind. See? There may be something in that.
We've talked about reality, what is not real, different levels of consciousness, how they don't have any problem with one another. And it seems like the whole discussion with good data all the way
Seems.
it just collapses. I mean, there's really
Already
no
collapsed.
takeaway.
It's already collapsed.
And it can be extremely frustrating for somebody who just wants an answer.
What answer? Which one?
Yeah.
You mean any answer? That's
Right.
what it is, any answer.
Is there an answer? Could there be?
Well, maybe the question is the answer. Is there an answer? Well, there is an answer. Answer is there. Answer there is. Huh? So you're opening to the paradox, which is good practice. There is clearance because there is nothing in the way. There's no thought as such. There's no perception. Can anyone be that quiet where there's no perception? Without a perception, is there a thought? Is there a person? Is there anything? Is there even a nothing without a perception? Once that is solved, then we can get to the issue of music. And who plays what? Or what plays who? The real space. The breath of real space. The real space of breath. Deep, profound breathing. Breathing into being. Being into silence. Silence into peace. 100% calmness. 100% calmness. Be that. Practice. Neurosis-free practice. Cutting right to it. Slipping into the fire of silence. The gentle fire of silence. Space of silence. Healing of silence. Healed in silence. And relative perception begins from and as silence. In practice, the space of silence precedes music. Music arising out of silence is what? Sound? Form? Feeling? Memory? Consciousness? Mind? Spirit? Anything? Anyone? Why? For whom? How deep is deep? Silence. Root, source of all sound and music, all vibration, all concept, all anything and everything. Back to here and now. Only here and now. Sound practice. Practice being ensounded. Ensoundment. Sound of silence.
My experience of this moment is rich and full and peaceful.
In other words, you are technically gone. Actually.
Yeah.
Zero. No one, nothing. That means true. So, for some, open. Surrendered into space. Heart space. Cosmic space. Only cosmic space. Comment?
Describing this sensation with words is incredibly delicate work.
Such is the nature of silence, in fact. Right? It's not a word. Alone. It's not a concept. Alone. It's not a mind. Alone. It's not a human alone. It's not a living thing alone. What is it?
There's a feeling of separateness right now from my sense of self, sense of activity and of behavior and an impulse.
Yeah, perception.
Yeah. And
That's an appearance. See? Simultaneously, there's no perception. Mm. Mm. There's nothing. Mhm. That's part of the practice. See? Welcoming and embracing nothing. Trueness of being. See? Fullness. Mm. Mm. Even for a moment. Be that okay in your skin and bones. Mind. And karma. See through it all into what this is and own it for yourself, so to speak. That is practice. Stepping beyond perception, with all due respect to perception, but not being defined or limited by any perception. Yeah. Except when you have to be defined by your perceptions and identified with your perceptions in an ordinary, conventional context of experience. Until there is nothing but this.
This quiet seems to see through any of the questions that I might have. Any
But
of the puzzles.
that's relative to your questions.
Mm.
See, the quiet has its own questions and its own answers. See? Thus it is said, the heart speaks. Out loud. It shouts. And its sound is deafening for those who can hear it. Same with silence, speaks in a roar for those who can hear it. Can anyone listen and hear accordingly? So not to speak for you in your experience, but you may be experiencing some kind of self-dissolution. Activated by virtue of openness, say receptivity, resonance. Not any external force, but an internal openness, an okayness to come from inside, so to speak, say the inner. And as I've said, once the self is gone, a whole new universe opens and a whole new conversation is possible. A new world is really revealed, an old one released, so to speak, and nothing happened. See? And nothing's changed. That's the paradox of perception and the paradox of illusion. Coming.
Yeah, being here and being in conversation like this relative to self-disillusion is extremely potent because there's nothing offered that can be used to prop up self. It's all for the release of self and
the recognition of the non-existence of the self to begin with. It's never existed. That's what you're experiencing. The non-existing reality of what is beyond self. And that would be the selfless state. Who is not the selfless state? Who cannot open to that level of your true nature? Your true innocence, your true original being. Who can't open to that? I think it's more correct to say who desires that? Who desires to be back or in that reality? That nothingness, it's just a word. And in the process of exploring different states or grades or phases of consciousness, that word holds pretty true. There's nothing. So are you sure? Look further. It's nothing. Nothing in the way. Nothing. Zero. Right? The light of peace has dawned. Momentarily. A glimpse of what is true. Always true. But for most, momentarily so. Blow it out.
As the solidity of my, let's say, former self goes away and relaxes, it seems as though...
Disappears. Disappears.
Yeah.
Indeed, disappears. Melts, in some cases, it's a good word. It melts. It can be melted to prove its non-existence, its non-reality. It's called heart melt. You know it as a fact when you get there. Now, who can say they've been there? In truth, or in fact, for themselves.
Yeah. A lot changes. Sensitivity to other people and their business, their perceptions goes way up. To the point where I'm often fooled into thinking that I'm dealing with what they're dealing with. Their problems are my problems. And yeah, that's I guess part of the process. It has been for me.
Letting go is the process. The void is the place. Say. The place is the heart. And the heart is the space of the universe. Everyone is actually here. Everything is actually here. It's all here. And it's all gone at the same time. It's just the sweetest paradox. Always here, already gone. Surrendered to peace, healing, and free action.
How does a person know when their shit stinks?
They don't. Who knows when that's happening? Who can know when it's not happening? Can you? Right? Who knows? That's the hatchet. Who knows? And whatever it was or whatever it is gone in that moment. It's all gone. It's inexplainable. It's incomprehensible. And that's the truth of the joy of what it is. The joy of what? Is. Who can play music from this place? What kind of music would that be? Would it be jazz? Would it be classical? Would it be folk? Would it be anything? Would it be cultural? What could it be? What might it be? What need it be? And thus we have the paradox of form. Musical form. What's that? Is that something one creates or is subject to? Or succumbs to? Does or is done in by? So before you pick up your instrument, you should be here. But this is the real instrument. This is the real music. In a manner of speaking. This is the real club. Right? The real date and the real gig. Right? It's the real concert hall. The real performance. The final performance. The only performance. The no performance.
Some people use activities such as music to bring themselves to a place of quiet where otherwise it doesn't exist for them.
What doesn't exist?
Peace. A feeling of connectedness or
It's a
creativity.
perception.
Yeah.
That's the perception. So we're talking about perceiving. So not about knowing, but perceiving. So you're saying they are perceiving what they don't know. What they can't know yet. To be kind, we say what they can't know yet. It's possible before long they can know. Beyond any doubt. If they can know beyond any doubt, perhaps they can be beyond any doubt. Who can know to be beyond any doubt?
So, knowing
About, it's perceiving, yeah.
and knowing itself is unconditional, whether you're playing music or asleep or going grocery shopping.
Knowing then is not knowing. Yeah. So you need to know you know, but you also need to know in the same stroke you can't know. Otherwise, what good is what you play? If you can know, and only know, and not know. Figure it out later. Not all at once. If you can figure it out all at once, fine, then you have peace. Duh. No problem. Done. Gone.
Does the term you use just then figure it out?
Exactly. Go through the motions later. Bang your head up against the wall later. If ever. But not necessarily now. No, there's no head. There's no head to bang. There's no wall. There's nothing. That's the real event behind all appearances. Zero. See, to be medieval about it, we can say it's spirit. The immaterial, the radical immateriality of reality. The pure itself. The clear. Here. Here. Here.
It seems like the process of self-melt, as you described it, in some cases can be a slow one.
In most cases, it needs to be a slow one. It's not going to happen like in a snap. We wish we could close our eyes for a moment and open our eyes and voila, boom. No more suffering. No more self-concern. No more problems. No more confusion, no more doubt, insecurity. Nothing. No more self. Anything. No world even. So-called world, whatever that is. See?
So why does the process take time?
That's the nature of the universe. Why does an orbit take a certain amount of time relative to planets? Why is that? Why is there a day and why is there a night? Why should it be any time? Huh? Could it be said that that's the way it is, and you have to accept it for what it is, and that's what the Dharma is? The Dharma is what is. And the self is that which doesn't like it for what it is. Discontent is not the Dharma, but maybe the Dharma is the greatest discontent. It could be. Suffering is the Dharma. Agony is the Dharma. Bliss is the Dharma. Blisters are the Dharma too. They are all part of the way. Because a human is the way. It is the way. The way is present. How do you respond to that? The way is present. And you are the way. It is the way. You are the it is the way. Everyone is the it is the way. Without clinging, then you are enjoying what it is as the way. It is. As long as you're clinging, you're suffering yourself stuff. You're not seeing anything but yourself and its pain. Its suffering and its limitation, which could be great limitation. Wonderful, ecstatic limitation. Mm. 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 But it is the way. Mm. It's the way of the now. Mm. It's the way of the real, present, real. Fully, completely real. Fully, completely present. Only here. Boom. Mm-hmm. Just like that. And that's that. So with practice, it's easy to be this way. Open, responsive, in the moment. Mm-hmm. And if it's easy to be this way in this context, it should be easy to play this way. That's the way that I play, in the moment. See? Mm-hmm. So then it's not scripted for one thing and then unscripted for another thing. It's just completely unscripted, in a sense. See? Because of where it's coming from makes it virtuous, and that would be relative to the heart. Mm. Mm. So that the unscriptedness of it gives and allows compassion to arise and have its way. Goodness. So the most ultimately, deeply unscriptedness comes from the heart. Free of self-thought, body, mind, world, concept, duality, conceptuality, whatever, gone, everything, gone, poof. Zero. No oneness. The focus of no oneness. The dot of nothingness. And everything and everyone's included. It's not separate. Not excluded. In other words, you then have the luxury of same being. No difference. Deep. Dangerous. Crazy. No difference. See? Imagine. No difference. Imagine oneness. Imagine total aloneness, perfect aloneness, oneness, embracement of the universe as it is. Just be that. Few moments. Just that. Back to real. Just that. For practitioners in the spiritual works, say, a few moments of that a day is sufficient to stop the machinery of neurosis. and create a refreshment period. A moment of renewal, see, and free breathing, see, and getting back in the fray with renewed power and clarity, strength and direction. Not avoiding, escaping, not fleeing responsibility, engaging it, not being enslaved by it, but accomplishing it. So you have the power to do that because it's no longer a big deal, as the self would have it be. The little self would have it a big deal. And it's never that. It is what it is. And this is the field of accomplishment. This is the field of progression. This is the field of realization. And going beyond self-limitation. This is the field of the heroes, gone before, present, and who are yet to arise and be born into this universe. See? The super souls. Those who are fearless and compassionate at once. The very good spirits.
Thank you for sitting here today and sharing this beautiful music.
Music of silence. The silence of music. The vibrationless vibration. The soundless sound. The Dharma which is no Dharma is the true Dharma. The music which is no music is the true music. Which means there are infinite Dharmas. Which means it's infinite music. Which means that infinity rules. And that is the truth of spirit. Infiniteness. Gone. Infinite beings, infinite worlds. Infinite realities. All gone. All present. All joyous, all happy, all free. all enlightened, all ensounded. What more could anyone ask for than that fullness itself? Right? Radiant, radical, original fullness itself. May the blessings be. Hugh.